I want to make this video today just to vent really quickly. I hope it doesn't take too long to record it. I also don't want to take too much of people's time who decide to watch these videos, another 3 or 4 people who do. But all right. As you know, I'm in a situation where I'm living with a family member across country. And it's been pretty stressful because I know it's a whole thing of like uprooting my whole life to live far away from family, dealing with the stresses of the world for the first time as an adult. I feel like I'm maturing. I came here to help this person relocate and adjust. Initially, I didn't come here to live here, but I've always wanted to give LA a shot as an actor. So it felt like the perfect opportunity really just came out of nowhere, and I had to take it. And so, with regards to all that, I have no regrets. But I will say something happened last night that really, really just has become a pattern that bothers me, that this person kind of, I don't think, could ever see. Because if anything, they will never want to hear anything from me because of our age difference, among other things, probably. Um, you know, last night, uh, usually this person comes home from work. They work all day, they come home late, usually around like, not too late, like around early evening or whatever, like 4 or 5, really not much of the day left. And he had been telling me earlier within the week that his boss is coming into town or something and they're going to go out drinking. And it's in the middle of the week, if it was the weekend, sure. But the middle of the week, I just kind of told him, I said, you might not want to do that because you got work the next day. You've been on your working out kick, like it's just not a healthy thing to do. And he made it seem like it's something he has to do, right, socially, because his boss is going to be there, yada, yada, yada. Everybody in work is going. But I was like, legally, they can't force you or punish you for not attending like a drinking meetup simply because you don't drink or you don't want to. Like, you don't have to attend. But whatever. He wanted to go, his choice. The issue I have with that is I've seen constantly how alcohol, certain substance, negatively impacts this person's emotional state, mental state, and all that, and how it impacts the people around them, more specifically me. Throughout the week, they're constantly suppressing all of these things that they feel like they're burdened by, all of these stresses of work, stresses of life, stresses of wanting to be able to help the family out, stresses of maybe some things I've done, areas in which I lack where I could help, like getting a job. I'm trying actively, but it's not working out. This person kind of believes that I'm not doing my best. So maybe there's that subconsciously a little bit of like I'm living with a bum kind of thing, which whatever. Take no offense. But all of that, right? And then you take the substance and what it does, it really brings those emotions up to the surface, right? All right, so fast forward, they come back later in the night. I'm not really thinking much of it. I really don't even remember that he went out. I'm like, oh, he's back. He seemed all right. And then he calls me over to talk to him about something. I just say what's up because I'm just like, hey, I'm here. Like, that's it. Like, I'm in the house. I'm here. I'm going to sleep. All right. And then he wants to tell me something real quickly. So as you guys know, or as you might not know, I don't know if I said in any of these videos, when I go to write scripts or to do acting work, I like to go to this certain hotel out here in LA that's not too far. It's like a 15-20 minute walk. And it's not that far from where we're living right now. We're in the middle of K-Town and downtown LA, Hollywood area. So I actually like this spot. If I want to go places in Hollywood, I can, and it's not too far. If I want to go places in K-Town, I could literally walk there. It's not bad at all. But I go to this one hotel in K-Town where I like to write and do stuff, drink coffee. And he was giving me a recommendation for a place I could go. And he was just telling me how basically, like if he was in my place as like somebody who's trying to raise money for a film, because he met a famous actor at this place, it could be a place where I could go and network and talk to people. They know this about me where I'm not a social butterfly. I don't talk to people like that, I'm not going to just go out, say what's up, small talk with people. If I go there to write or do something, I usually just keep to myself. I sit at a table by myself and I write. Even at school, when I was at school growing up, Like when I eat lunch, I would sit by myself. I was that kid, right? So I keep to myself a lot. But if he brought up the hypothetical of like, what if you see the same person and you go there multiple times? Because he was referencing the hotel I go to, and I just kind of respectfully brought up, well, it's a hotel. People are constantly checking in, checking out, and from my experience, I've never seen the same person multiple times every day, or just every day. Like it's always been different people because people are checking in, checking out. It's a public space, a coffee area, so different people are coming in, and they usually have their own social groups. And probably the only same people I see there are maybe the employees, especially the bartender. But I don't really talk to them because I don't sit at the bar. And they took offense to that. Under normal circumstances, they wouldn't have. If they weren't drunk, they wouldn't have. But they took offense to that. For some reason, me saying I don't really talk to people, right? Because I only brought that up because they said that they would usually, and they said this specifically, this phrase, politic with people around. Which, slang for like, just cut it up, chat with people around you or whatever. And I was like, I don't really talk to people like that. But, it's a nice recommendation, right? He brought up that it's a hotel that he tried to relate it to something about something that I liked, right? So like an artist that I like has been there before, and actors and people are there all the time. Rich people are there all the time. It's a nice place to go. He was thinking he might even go there. I was like, all right, it sounds like a cool place. For some reason, my comment about me not talking to people because I'm not really social, even though it's really a comment that could usually just be brushed over, it's really a side comment that really holds no weight. He took it as, well, F your entire idea. Because when people are in irrational states, they don't think rationally. And, the whole time he's expressing that to me, because he's after I made that comment, he kind of looks at me like, for like 10 seconds. To which I'm just like, what's there to look at me weird for? Like, it's a solid place. I would go. You know what? I don't care. He starts telling me, I don't care if you go or not. I was just being a big brother telling you this and that. And here you are. Yeah. Giving me the whole like guilt trip thing. If I'm just trying to help you and you're always turning down ways of getting help. And I was trying to just be calm and composed and just tell him, no, you're misunderstanding. Like, I literally kept a calm tone initially. No, you're telling me. Like, you're misunderstanding what I said. I'd love to go there. Like, it's a place, I might go there tomorrow. But, like, I just said I'm not a social person. That's all. He said, no, I don't care if you go or if you don't. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to take my advice at all. You could just stay here. Became something. So I was like, all right. That's not what I said at all. I forget what he even said, to be honest. It probably wasn't too important. But it was just kind of like basically accusing me of something that I had no intention of. And when I told him that, he was like, it's not about that. It's about what you said and yada, yada, yada. This is what it means. I was like, no, that's not what it means at all. That's not, because from a rational state of mind, how are you going to tell somebody what they said is not what they meant? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know what that person meant? Even if you're family, like, are you in my brain? So it's just kind of getting to a boiling point where I'm just like, oh my God. Okay. You know what? I was kind of getting irritated. So I was like, all right, I don't have time for this conversation right now. I'm going to go. That pissed them off. Immediately, why are you leaving? Yada, yada, yada. Look, I don't think we're being rational and understanding each other right now. We could agree to disagree, yada, yada, yada. I'm just going to go back to my room. I don't have the energy for this today. No, let's talk. I'm just like, look, I don't want to talk. I'm forced to stand there and listen to a couple more minutes of him telling me something, rambling about me not taking his ideas or whatever. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go. I'm going to go to my room. I try to go to the room. Kind of follows me out, just kind of chastising me a little bit. I sit right here where I am right now. I'm listening as he's telling me something, kind of yelling, like just stuff that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, look, I don't have the energy for this right now. I don't want to, like, I kind of start to raise my voice because I'm getting irritated. Like, my blood is starting to boil, Like, as somebody like me, it takes a lot. And he has said this to me before. He knows this about me. We've had long, deep conversations. He has told me, it takes you a lot. I know you. It takes you a lot to get you mad. And I'm just thinking about this in this moment. I'm like, I'm starting to get really mad when I'm usually a really calm and reserved guy. But I find myself now in a position where I'm forced to try to at least rationalize with this person, but anything I say is riling them up more and more and more. All right. I end up going to my room, closing the door, locking it, just being like, look, I don't want to talk right now. I'm sorry. I don't have the energy for this right now. I was frustrated. I closed the door hard, right? I slammed it, I locked it. He's like, now you're slamming the door in my face in my own house. You know, to which that comment kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because now you're saying it's your house, weaponizing it against me because I don't pay bills, right? But I don't pay bills because I don't have a job. I don't have a job because the job market is trash. In his mind, I don't have a job because I'm not working hard enough. It's all that stuff in there that's kind of pissing me off a little more. He starts banging on the door. No, just open it. Let's talk. We're going to talk. I open the door. He's like, he sees me just lying on the bed, just like trying to cover my face and ears, because I'm really not trying to like get rage baited right now, but I'm really there. He's like, you know what? F this. I'm not talking. Closes the door again. And, rest of the night he's just angry, walking back and forth. I hear him yelling, whatever. And it just got me really thinking, right? It got me thinking about a couple of things. Because I also deal with a certain kind of addiction, right? Even though it's porn and masturbation or whatever. And it's like, when you're trying to overcome a certain thing, right? And you have a relapse or something, you can be really hard on yourself, be upset, and be in a shitty mood. And that impacts the people around you, right? And I think the same kind of goes for alcohol. This idea of you will do something that makes you act a little wild, right? And you talk about how you're trying to quit. I think he's not proud of the fact that he drinks. But regardless, right? You have this moment where you kind of relapse. You go a little overboard. And it makes you act out and act irrational. And it starts impacting and negatively affecting the people around you. Not just you, right? It's affecting you emotionally, physically. You're feeling all the hangover effects and all that, whatever, right? It's affecting you in that physical sense. But it's affecting everyone else around you, because the way that it impacts your mood is how you start approaching everybody with that mood. He became belligerent. He started being belligerent towards me. I took it as disrespect, and I was really upset. And it's like this cycle of where it would happen, right? Because it's happened a couple of times now where I look back and we've had certain arguments that didn't make any sense. And it's usually a lot more heightened when he's been drinking. Right? Or like when he's had a really shitty week and he's just like in his head a lot, and now he's taking it out on me. It's really hard for somebody like me who's really trying to find every moment I can to leave here, to sit through these moments every now and then, where at least now it's like once a month, and kind of be the guy who's like, all right, I'm going to stick through LA, see it through. It's been really hard on me. And I got to just deal with this every other time. And I think, unfortunately, if I stick here long enough, it's going to get to a point where we won't get along anymore. And I don't want that to be the case. We're two very polar opposite people, But I at least try to make sure that if I'm in a shitty mood, it doesn't affect other people around me and the way I interact with them. And I feel like I'm not getting that same courtesy here, So I just thought to talk about that. I don't understand why, people would choose to do something that affects them so negatively in a way that they're probably ashamed of the next day, right? And each time this happens, right, we don't talk about it the next day. It's just like something that's swept out under the rug. So part of me wants to bring it up, but then I fear that it'll get worse again, right? So I don't know how to handle these situations. But I I know why people do certain things, right? Addiction is hard, urges are hard. But we gotta push through certain things, man. So that's all I gotta say.